the Pearl, and welcome to this Oracular Cosmic Insight sharing. This is a guidance session sponsored by L.E.A.F, Live, Enlightened and Free in Bressi Ranch in Carlsbad. A beautiful store that is filled with magnificent crystals and everything that's for your mental, emotional, physical well-being. You can find tarot, you can find oracle decks, anything that your heart desires that's really in sort of the esoteric metaphysical realm. L.E.A.F carries all of that fun, amazing stuff. So, welcome to this first reading. This reading is just to give you an idea of where we are cosmically and what guidance is here to share with all of humanity. So, I'll give you a little insight into what's going on an astrological cosmic level, and then we'll intertwine it with a little bit of oracular divination. So right now Mars is in retrograde. That's happened on Wednesday, and then Jupiter stations to go direct, which Jupiter brings this energy of expansion, but Jupiter's in the house of Capricorn, and Capricorn likes things a little bit structured and likes to do things by the rule book, where Jupiter likes to expand the boundaries. So he's at the latter edge or latter part of or moving back into the last decan of Capricorn, where we start to see, he's looking back at everything that he's done over the last couple of months, especially from springtime, and he's seen the wisdom that has been gleaned from this time. That if you look back in your life, what's happened from now since springtime, and what did you learn from the experience? What wisdom did you pick up, and how can you take this wisdom with you and bring it forward? And then we go back to Mars, who's in retrograde now, and so he's asking to really assess and review what's important to you. And Mars is in the house of Aries, and Aries likes to get things done, and Mars loves to be home in Aries. So he's at a good place where he wants to be, but he wants to rest a little. He wants to take time to really look at the future and decide what it is and what he wants to bring forward. What's his divine spark? So Aries has this like masculine energy. That's why I'm saying his. Jupiter, I'll say that too, because we sometimes look at the wise guru of the sky, and they kind of always have a bit of an archetype too. So do the houses as well, that each have an archetype and bring through a certain energy. And then when we look at the world too, we start to see what's going on in the world, and we realize that if we look at the planets, how they align with the Jupiter, Pluto and Saturn conjunction at that latter part of Capricorn. The house of our structures is being redesigned, if you will. It's been first broken down before it gets redesigned, but it's been broken down, and we've seen the edges of it all being broken down. And this may take some time still, because Pluto will be in Capricorn for quite some time too. I think it's like 2024. I could be wrong on the date, but still quite a ways ahead of us before he moves out, and maybe it's like even 2042, somewhere around there. I know it's a 2 and a 4 when he'll be out of Capricorn. But then at the end of this year, there's a bit of a light that really shines brightly for us as Saturn and Jupiter will start to move in Aquarius, that place of the great awakener, that new age of Aquarius energy is going to really start to seep in, and we're going to start to feel it, and it'll be like little tingling sensations, so a sense of anticipation. So with that idea, let me look at the cards and see what other guidance that is here for us. So I'm going to read with this one particular deck. It's got a beautiful tree on it. I like the tree symbology. It helps us to be rooted. This is of the tree of life and the tree of knowledge. And if we look at so from a spiritual perspective, this is what's happening. The tree of knowledge is being rebirthed back into the world. And so this is the wisdom that is coming to us now, the wisdom that is coming to you now. So take a moment here. I like to do this, is close your eyes. Even if you are listening to this and it's not live, the moment that you hear this message, knowing that this message is perfect for you at any moment in life. And the angels are just reminding me that too. They're saying, just remind everybody that there's these angelic forces that are actually here to support us. And they've been around for quite some time. I've been witnessing through this pandemic space how Archangel Michael, Archangel Ariel, Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Raphael have been showing up quite a bit, especially Archangel Michael has been quite evident in different spaces, like showing up consistently, if you will. So there's this invitation that we've been guided across the bridge to that next space too. So knowing that you're not alone is maybe helpful on some level too. So let's take a deep breath in, full breath out, and let's see what guidance has for you and me. Oh, so this likes to come up. It says submerged. Oops. It says submerged iceberg. So there's this idea, and it's, you know, there's like, seems like there's this crack through here too. So that whole analogy of the iceberg is that we see maybe the tip of it, we don't see what is below it. And so it's like, you know, we only see the surface. And this theme actually through this whole pandemic is that we're just seeing a small smidge. We're not seeing the whole thing. And remember, what we're going through on a collective level is not just for, you know, the collective. It's for you too. It's actually the healing that is needed for humanity needs to come through you. And so this idea of what we're not seeing, it's below the surface, right? So we need to look at the whole picture. This is Mars coming into retrograde, and also we have Chiron in retrograde too, in this house of Aries, which is assisting this deep inner healing wounds. But there is this, like, it looks like a pathway through. It seems very narrow, not wide enough for us to get through. But that's because this is part of our mindset too. We're maybe not ready to move through. We're still doing the healing that is needed. So if you're just hearing this message for the first time, it's time for you to start to do that self-care, that own self-healing work. What does that mean? It says take a moment in a day and sit quietly for a moment. Maybe get yourself an aromatherapy oil, maybe get yourself a crystal. And a lot of energy has been around the heart center, so like a malachite crystal or aventurine or anything that's green that you can either hold or wear, or even wear a t-shirt that is green. There's just been this activation through the heart, but it's not just the self-love, caring heart, that pink space, if you will. It's the green. It's about loving and forgiving each and everybody in your life too. So if we look at what's just on the surface, we'll see the smallness of it. We just see like a tiny reflection of what's really below the surface. And so this is asking you to dive a little bit deeper into those own, if you will, the idea is core wounds, so that we can start to melt through the things that feel like they've been our limitations. So this gap that seems so small or narrow for us to get through, in fact, there's opportunity. If we start to look below the surface and do the healing for those deep core wounds, we start to move through into new energy. So I'm going to pull another card to support that, and they want me to pull these angel cards. So let's take a moment here, and I feel the vibration again of Michael, actually Archangel Michael coming through again. So he likes to bring through this energy of reminding you that you've been taken care of, that you've actually been supported. And all those negative ideas or negative thoughts or negative people or negative situations or experiences, ask for assistance to cut all these binds that bind you to that old stuff, to allow yourself to be freed, to be liberated. This is also what the new earth is calling for us, to be liberated, to move into something new for you, something new for me. So take a deep breath in, breathe all the breath out. Let's see one more card. See an Archangel Ariel, and it says the earth. This is what we're sprouting. We may be in this place of this coldness, not seeing everything, but this is our potentiality of where we're moving into. And again, this assistance. Also, there's been this theme that I've been seeing about this expanding essence of the divine feminine too. So within all of us, there's also that green too. Like, we can flourish with that green. So surround yourself with plants too. Wear something green, get a green crystal, go out in nature. But there's this idea of allowing yourself to flow, allowing yourself to step into your own inner creativity, Maybe you've discovered through this time too, maybe this is the wisdom that Jupiter is bringing to you. Maybe you've discovered some creative part of your spirit or your soul, something that you never gave time to explore. And now you've had the opportunity to explore more because you've had possibly more time. So this thing about exploration, this is also standing in your power, because we have this energy of this new earth that wants to come through. There's a new place. This is an invitation. This is what the life may seem like now, that we're not seeing everything, that everything's below the surface. It's cold and the pathway is narrow, but then everything melts, and on the other side of this perceived limitation, which is also Jupiter coming out of retrograde, wanting to us expand, especially our structures, our foundations, that what seems hard and contracting. We want to move into something new, and this is an invitation for you to grow into that what is your true self. And also with Mars in retrograde, it is an invitation for you to review what it is that you truly wish to do in this world. And so from that note, I'm going to leave you with that. Hopefully that all made sense to me. So from my heart to yours, may you always be blessed. Namaste. And again, this is Belinda Pearl. And you can always find me at L.E.A.F, at Live Enlightened and Free at Bressi Ranch in Carlsbad. Again, make sure you come into the store. There's lots of crystals, there's lots of tarot, there's lots of oracle cards, there's lots of other amazing stuff, incense and all that good stuff, and aromatherapy too, which is such a good medicine for us to use now in the world to help us really feel, in the space of this divine rising creative self, if you will. Again, this is Belinda Pearl, and you can find me at belindapearl.com. I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Namaste.